Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is in continuation this morning, so we'll be having a pre-bid conference. So, good morning po, Ade, who is online, and good morning also to our, good afternoon, sorry, good afternoon. Good afternoon also to our prospective bidders this afternoon, and to also our viewers. Okay, so let's now move on. But since we have the same participants this morning, so we'll just go on with the discussion of the 5 projects for 5 projects, that is contract ID numbers 24H80118 to 24H80122. So, good afternoon also to our planning engineers present this afternoon. So, and maintenance as well. So, I will give now the floor to our, first, we have our maintenance engineer, Engineer Daan, for the discussion of the first project.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Today's pre-bid will present NGOB project entitled Repair, Maintenance of DBM Building, Government Procurement Policy Board, and Technical Support Office, Main Building, Sudlon, Barangay Lahug, Cebu City. The project is with 90 calendar days duration and with EBC appropriation 1.5 million Philippine pesos. The scope of the project are, we have the item B3, permits and clearances, 1 lump sum quantity. B5, item number B5, project billboard and signboard, 1 quantity, 1 unit lump sum. B.7, parenthesis 1, occupational safety and health program with 3 months duration. Item B9, we have mobilization, demobilization, 1 unit lump sum. And item B.24, general scaffolding and shoring, 1 unit lump sum. And we have also the earthworks, the item H01, parenthesis 1, which is removal of structures and obstructions, includes disposal, 1 LS. And part B, item 900, parenthesis 1, CITO, the structural concrete footings and slab on fill, class A, 28 days, 2 cubic meter quantity. Item 902, parenthesis E, which is the reinforcing steel, deform, grade 40. We have quantity of 58 kilograms. And item 1004, parenthesis 2, the finishing hardware, 1 unit lump sum. The 1007, parenthesis B1, SB, aluminum frame glass door, swing type. We have 2.10 square meter quantity. The 1008, parenthesis 1, D, aluminum glass window, which is fixed type. We have 3.32 square meter. The 1047, parenthesis 1, structural steel, 1 unit lump sum. And the item 1003, parenthesis to, A1, the wall 4.5 mm fiber cement board on metal frame, 13 square meter. 1018, parenthesis to, the unglazed tiles with 13 square meter. 1032, parenthesis 1A, which is the painting works, masonry concrete, 26 square meter. The 1014, parenthesis 1B2, the pre-painted metal sheets, rib type, long span. And the last item is 1002, parenthesis 4, the plumbing fixtures, one unit lump sum. On the ground floor plan, we have the remove and replace slab with 10 mm diameter rebars at 300 mm OC spacing. Repair, we have also repair water line leaks, replace tiles, and repair plumbing leaks also. We have plumbing leaks also on the ground floor. Next is the third floor, fourth floor, fourth floor. On the we have also the item, the metal sheets, the ceiling, on the ceiling plan we have the ceiling plan, replacement of ceiling. The quantity was mentioned previously. And on the right side elevation, we have the repair of window glass, quantity previously repaired. The schedule of replacement of windows is 1.125 by 1.475, window 1. Sa fourth floor, sir. On the fourth floor, we have the fourth floor, we have the repair, provision of fire exit, and that's the detail seen on the plan. The replacement of fire exit provision. Mga naman na sir sa floor. Mga na sa floor. I think that's all.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. I'm Engineer Raniel from Planning and Design Section. For Contract ID 24HH 0121, contract name of Concreting of Barangay, for Contract ID 24HH 122 with contract name of Convergence and Special Support Program, Sustainable Infrastructure Projects Alleviating Gaps or CPAG, access roads or bridges from the national roads leading to major strategic public buildings, facilities, construction of road with slope protection structures, Barangay Sinsin, Cebu City, Cebu. Description, roads, construction of PCCP with slope protection. Approved budget for contract 71,410,000 with contract duration of 230 calendar days. So let's go for the DED. Okay. For the location, Barangay Sinsin, Cebu City, with station limits of 25,800 to kilometer 25,860 with net length of 60 meters. Okay. For those nga wala kayo katuod sa Sinsin, okay. Sinsin is the last barangay of Cebu City. So near na siya sa Talisay. So medyo dili gyud siya kanang malabyan or maadto og dili gyud nimo tuyon ngadto. For those contractors that kanang ganahan makatanaw sa site before the bidding, so pwede ra mo tanaw sa coordinates. So para makatuod gyud mo sa sites. So makatuod gyud mo. Dol-dol na gyud siya sa boundary, ma'am. Actually, dol-dol na gyud siya. So natay coordinates sa start and sa end, so para makatuod mo, then napoy pictures para pag-abot ninyo sa site, so maka-distinguish good mo if mao na bugid ang ato ang project site. Okay? So, okay, we have the summary of quantities. We have provision of combined field office, laboratory and living quarters, buildings for the engineers, and also operation and maintenance for temporary office, laboratory, and living quarters, building for the engineers. So for those nga matinga nga nganong naatay operation and maintenance, for provision and combined field office, wala na siya diha gibutang ato ang mga consumables like sa electricity, tubig. So na siya lain nga item. So para lang makahibaw ang uban. And then we also have provision of communication facility for the engineer. Then permit and clearances, project billboard, signboard. Then we have occupational safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization and demobilization, detour or access road. Then individual removal of trees, 23. Okay, we also have removal of actual structures on obstructions. Then we also have surplus common excavation, embankment from roadway excavations, upgrade preparation, aggregate sa base course, PCCP, reinforcing steel. We also have structural concrete and erosion control mat, permanent anchor, ground anchor, and select granular backfill. Next is we also have geosynthetic reinforced mechanically stabilized earth with and next we also have same geosynthetic reinforced mechanically stabilized earth. Ang nakalahira ni ang ilahang tensile strength. Ang first is 80 and the next one the 51444 ang tensile strength is 150. We also have drain pipe, then hydroseeding. We also have metal frames and gratings for the for our line canal. We also have thermoplastic reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings, white and yellow, and we also have safety roller barrier system, double, then separation geotextile, and lastly the drainage geotextile. So let's go for the typical cross sections. So for the first one, so ato ta sa cliff side sa ato ang project. So sa cliff side we have the kanang MSE. So sa cliff side, so makita nato nga medyo kaning atong project is dili kay siya common, no. So it's this same system we implemented sa kilometer 9 and 15. So makita nato na adiri tay So, ang katong ground anchor na siya sa tuang foundation dapit. Asara. Op. Nilapas. Sorry. Okay, so mo yung blow up sa tuang katong anchor sa tuang footing nga side. So, what ay mouse ni? Okay, nara. So, makita ra siya. So, nata sa ato ang footing aside, na-dire ito ang ground anchor. And then, kani siya, mo na ito ang mga geosynthetic nga mechanically stabilized earth. So, maglahi rin ni siya. So, natay 150 nga tensile strength. Then, the upper portion sa ato ang project is ang kuana 80 ang iyang tensile strength. Okay, for the kanang sa bukid nga side, sa right side, kay murag nahog ni duha ni siya kay naa siya road slip, nasa siya kanang soil erosion so sa right side. So for the soil erosion, naa. So duha siya. So ang diri sa right side, ato ang gigamit kay actually karon still suspended ang ato ang active nga kanang wire. So naka-suspend man siya. So ang gigamit nato karon is ang erosion control mat. And then ang ato ang nailing. So kung naay further nga question, so pwede mo moduol sa planning and design section. I think that's all for sin nga road slip. So next is for contract ID 24HH0119 to be discussed by Engineer Geraldson.
Check. So, good afternoon, everyone. So, our next project for today with contract ID 24HH0119 with contract name Convergence and Special Support Program, Basic Infrastructure Program, Access Roads and or Bridges from the National Roads, Leading Major Strategic Public Buildings or Facilities, Construction of Road, Barangay Guadalupe. So this project is located at Barangay Guadalupe, and then with description, roads construction PCCP, with approved budget for the contract for 4,950,000 with contract duration of 90 calendar days. So for this project, we have station limits. This project is divided into two sections. The first section has station limits of 1,600 to 1,733. Next is the section 2 is 1,300 to 1,465 with net length of 298 meters. So as you can see here, we have the location for section 1, and we have the latitude and longitude for both sections. So we have here the summary of quantities. First, the provision of combined field office, laboratory, and living quarters building for the engineer. Next, operation and maintenance of the temporary field office, laboratory, and living quarters building for the engineer. Permits and clearances, project billboard or signboard, occupational safety and health program, traffic management, mobilization or demobilization, removal of actual structures or obstruction PCCP under enforced, 0.23 meters thick, surplus common excavation, subgrade preparation, aggregate sub-base course, PCCP under enforced 0.25 meters thick, and lastly, concrete covers. Next, we're proceeding to the typical cross sections. So you can see here the carriageway with 5 meters width with paved shoulders of 0.15 on both sides. And with thickness of aggregate sub-base course of 0.15 and 0.25 PCCP. So we're proceeding to the next project to be discussed by John Silva.
So good afternoon, everyone. I will be presenting the next project with a contract ID 24HH0120 with the contract name of concreting of Barangay Pamutan to Barangay Toong FMR, Barangay Pamutan and Toong. The contract location is, the description for the project is road construction using PCCP with an ABC of 14,925,000 pesos. The contract duration is 155 calendar days, and I'll be presenting the plan. The project length is 1,005 meters with the station limit 8 plus 700 up to 9 plus 705. The next page will show the location of the project, and the longitude and latitude are presented in order for the contractor to be able to determine the location. And then the next pages consist of the technical specifications from page 4 to 6. And lastly, the typical roadway section. For the first section is then regular carriageway with a width of 5. And then the next section with line canal is shown on the lower figure. That's all. The next project would be discussed by Engineer Earl.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Engineer Earl Anthony from Planning and Design section. Our last project for today's pre-bid conference with the contract ID 24HH0121 with contract name concreting of Barangay Agsungot FMR, Barangay Agsungot, Cebu City. Description, road construction PCCP with approved budget of the contract 14,925,000 with contract duration of 155 calendar days. Let's go for our DED plans. The location of our site is at Barangay Agsungot, Cebu City with station limits starting at station 20 plus 215 to station 21 plus 050 with a net length of 835 meters. The specific location of our site is determined with our coordinates, start and end of our projects. The start of this project is the continuation 2023 Next is Next is a summary of quantities. Our scope of works includes the provision of combined field office, laboratory, and living quarters buildings for the engineers. Operation and maintenance of the temporary field office, laboratory, and living quarters building for the engineers. Permits and clearances, project billboards, signboards, occupational health and safety program, traffic management, mobilization, demobilization, surplus common excavation, surplus rock excavation, structure excavation, pipe culverts and drain excavation, embankment from roadway excavation, subgrade preparation, polymer stabilized sub-base surface course, PCC pavement with 20.20 meter thick reinforcing steel and structural concrete for our line canal and catch basin, pipe culverts, stone masonry, concrete curb, and metal accessories for our FMR markings. These are the technical specifications. For our road, typical road sections, we have our PCCP with 20.20 meter thick and our polymer stabilized sub-base with 0.20 meter thick. Our line canal and our shoulder and our 5 meter width roadway. That's all. Thank you.
I think that's all for the planning design section project.
Okay, thank you, planning engineers. So at this point, we'd like to make a voiceover with respect to the few reminders during the conduct of when you dropped in your bid documents, no? So please listen before we end this activity. So Mario, please.
Eligibility requirement. During the submission of bids in the field job certificate of registration and membership must be current and updated in accordance with the provisions of the IRR. And its registration is proper and relevant to the particular type of with contracts are in emphasis as per the order number 36 series of 2015. For this, strong emphasis is given to this matter since this will be strictly revalidated and checked upon during the detailed bid evaluation. Contracting capacity or NFCC, computation and statement of total assets and liabilities. Next is the NEOS permit or business permit must be present. Tax clearance, audited financial statement, duly received by BIR at least 2 years from bidding date, income tax return or ITR. Next is for DTI for sole proprietorship and CDA for cooperatives. For a corporation, there should be a secretary's certificate or board resolution duly notarized indicating the authorized and designated signing official. Next, JVA, if applicable, which requires special PCAB license and registration with percentage of 2 contractors. For the bid security, the contractor can choose among the applicable forms of bid security, which the duration is 120 calendar days per RA 9184. The bidder shall submit a bid security declaration or any form of bid security in an amount not less than the required percentage of the ABC in accordance with the following schedule. Cash or cashier's check issued by the Universal of Commercial Bank, which is 2%. Now, bank draft guarantee or a revocable letter of credit issued by Universal or Commercial Bank, provided, however, that it shall be confirmed and authenticated by a Universal or Commercial Bank if issued by a foreign bank, which is 2%, surety bond upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company. That all bid security of key of the materials engineer for 48 hours. Order, of which the limitation is one safety officer within limited jurisdiction in the limits not exceeding 50 million. The omnibus sworn statement in the form, the omnibus sworn statement has 9 items. They should comply with a standard form wherein, in the absence of one item, it will be rated as failed. For the affidavit of site inspection, inspection of the project site is encouraged in order to validate the site prior to dropping of bids to avoid future problem. Because the contractor has the responsibility to complete the project once awarded to them. For the financial proposal, this must be included also the bid form, the bid prices in the bill of quantities, detailed estimates, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid. So, mo na ang dapat sa inyong detailed no, na agad na diha ang materials, ang labor, o ang material. Ang lamsam na to, no, mo na ato for outright rejection for the bid and will fall and further, the authorized liaison officer will be the one to drop the bids. The bidders will also advise to be responsible to their bid submitted in accordance with the checklist, and their technical and financial proposals should have proper pagination based on the number or order if the checklist including proper sequencing of documents. Their submitted documents should be done accordingly. If the legal A documents are attached, much better. However, if the documents are expired, attach receipt of proof that the renewal is on process. The bid documents of the bidders must follow the completeness of the bid, both in form and substance. The bidders were advised not to recycle legal documents of documents attached in the previous submission of bids which have signatures and countersigns of the back members. It must be all original signatures attesting certified copies. Affidavits must be original signature. For the joint venture, whatever guidelines complied by one bidder should also be complied by the other bidder. For example, if one has a PhilJEPS registration, then the other one should also attach their a.m. wherein it requires the completeness of bid. Bids not addressing or providing all the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bidding of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as not responsive. But specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free of the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. In case of discrepancies between bid prices and figures and in words, the latter shall prevail, no? Ang words ang mo prevail. Total price per item and unit price for the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the same will be applied to the detailed checking evaluation of the technical. The same will be applied, no, sa katong checking evaluation of the proposal. Then the bidder, rated as the lowest calculated bidder, will undergo post-qualification. Once post-qualified, the bidder will be determined as lowest calculated responsive bid and subsequently to be awarded for the contract. All bidders are of equal footing thereby. Bidders are advised to include all taxes, other fiscal and duties as mandated by law in all items of work, which details are shown in the detailed estimates. For the post-qualification, the bidders were advised to read Department Order Number 127, Series 2018, and other issuances relative to this matter, since the BAC will be very keen and strict on the conduct of post-qualification process, considering that the concerned officials or employees, including the concerned BAC members, will be liable to the administrative penalties if this directive will not be followed. As per DEO number 127, the contractor will not be awarded with a certain project if it has a negative slippage of at least 15% in a single contract or at least 10% in 2 or more contracts. During post-qualification, even though the contractor is the lowest bidder, still it is subject for further verification to ensure the compliance of the requirements of the contract. With that, the office will be sending a letter being the lowest calculated bid, which within 5 days from the receipt of notice, the bidder must submit the latest income and business tax return and other appropriate licenses, permits, and other legal documents required and stated in the bidding document and as stipulated in the said communication. If not complied within 5 days, the next calculated lowest bidder will be notified. So, you're only given 5 days, no? On the other hand, the office will be sending a letter of inquiry on the committed failure on the bidding at hand. Thus, this communication must be acted upon the contractor on the required time frame. Otherwise, without action taken, it will be relatively resort to sanction, which will fall on the 3-strike policy, which a tantamount of blacklisting, suspension of the contractor. If the bidder will commit 3 mistakes in a year, then they will be recommended for further sanctions. Moreover, the qualification and experience of the key technical personnel is subject for verification as part of the post-qualification process. They are allowed to replace their key personnel technical, which they have to write a letter 14 days prior to the proposed replacement, duly approved by the HOPE of the office. The BAC will be strict on the compliance of the equipment as part of post-qualification. It is stated as per DO number 127, Series 2018. The contractor can attach in the proposal the list of equipment or agreement to purchase or proposal to rent or agreement on the delivery of the equipment, so that the contractor will be assessed as compliant in terms of equipment requirement. The OR and CR must be present, no? Also, it must be current and updated, not expired. The equipment should be calibrated and TESDA accredited, and the registration should be current and updated. Whatever is stipulated in the BDS should be followed. An inspection will be conducted on the verification of equipment during other documents to be evaluated. Also, to be verified during post-qualification is the set of equipment pledged by the bidder. The bidder should in the submitted bid location of the equipment where they can be inspected. Ang atong DWG members kay mo inspect na sa inyong equipment pledge, no? If any piece of equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post disqualified as per Department Order Number 9, Series of 2012. 10 calendar days upon receipt of the NOA or Notice of Award, the contractor must comply the following. Notice of Award with the bidder signed for a joint venture, contractor's PCAB license, special joint venture license, and joint venture agreement. Performance security in any of the forms specified in the instruction of bidders. The performance security shall be in the amount not less than the required percentage of the total contract price in accordance with the following schedule. Cash or cashier's manager's check issued by a universal or commercial bank, which is 10%. Bank draft or guarantee or a revocable letter of credit issued by a universal or commercial bank, provided, however, that it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a universal or commercial bank if issued by a foreign bank, which is 10%. Surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security, which is 30%. No? So, ang sa inyong construction methods, kay naputay form, no, follow lang ta sa form. Ang construction schedule in the form of per CPM diagram or precedence diagram and bar chart with S-curve, cash flow. Contractors all risk insurance or carry to be submitted during the period required on the submission of the required documents in the award of contract. However, the effective date is on the effectivity of the contract. Latest income tax and business returns duly stamped and received by BIR and duly validated with the tax payments made. Tax clearance from the BIR to prove full and timely payment of taxes. For a local contractor, certification under oath stating that a contractor is free and clean of all tax liabilities. For a foreign bidder, for the summary.
Okay, so I think that's all. So thank you for coming and thank you for watching. Good afternoon once again.